Hello, my name is Jason Gaischel, and I'd like to welcome you to Hybrid Electric and Gaseous Fuel First Responder Training. The purpose of this training is to introduce you to various types of alternative fuel vehicle, the safety precautions you must take when approaching them at an accident scene, and ways to ensure that you and the occupants of the vehicle remain safe in the event of an incident. We're going to start by highlighting 3 vehicles that are commonly found on the road today, and then follow it up with 2 more special vehicles. One is a CNG waste management roll-off vehicle, and the other is a propane-powered school bus. But first, let's start with the Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf is easily identifiable by its unique headlights, which are shaped for aerodynamics and to reduce the noise that the driver hears inside the car. Another unique feature of the Nissan Leaf is the charge port door, which is located at the nose of the vehicle. First thing you'll notice is the blue Nissan emblem, which is unique to their battery electric vehicles and hybrids. Once you open the door, most models will have both a level 2 and level 3 charging port, each one of them with an enclosure to keep dirt out. On the rear of select Leaf models, you'll see a solar panel that's used to cool the interior off. Alongside the solar panels are distinctive long swept taillights that are unique to this vehicle as well. The Nissan Leaf is a battery electric vehicle, which means there's no internal combustion engine on board. It has a battery pack that's located low in the center of the vehicle and makes up the floor. The safety features of this vehicle that are important to the first responder include the type of key that's used, the type of parking brake that's used, where the charge port is located, as well as the service disconnect. The 12-volt battery is also of utmost importance for the first responder. When the vehicle is active and powered up, the ready light will be visible on the dash. In this case, a green vehicle indicator with a forward and rear arrow will be displayed in the middle of the dashboard. In order to start our high voltage disconnect and safely disable the vehicle, we must then move to turn the vehicle off so that light will not be illuminated. That's done by simply pushing the power button on the dash and powering the vehicle down. The next step is to take the transmitter fob and remove it from the vehicle at least 25 feet. Then search for a second key in the vehicle that may be with a passenger or in a glove compartment. Once both keys are removed from the vehicle, we can then move to disable the 12-volt battery system, which is located under the hood. Once the vehicle has been secured and cribbed, the parking brake should be applied. It's important, if the vehicle is equipped with an electric parking brake, to apply this before we move to the next step, which is to disable the 12-volt battery system. And this vehicle, the battery is located under the hood, and we want to take a look at the negative cable. If it's easy to disconnect the battery cable with a wrench, that's preferable, but if you have to, you can take a chunk of wire out at least 3 inches long to avoid the cable reconnecting accidentally and re-energizing the vehicle. This is to be repeated on both the negative and the positive side. Once you've done this, the vehicle is officially disabled and high voltage should no longer be present on the system except where it remains inside the battery under the car. Once you've completed this step, you'll follow all department SOPs. Our next vehicle is the Ford Fusion Energy, which is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Unlike the Nissan Leaf, this vehicle has an internal combustion engine along with 2 electric motors that will combine for propulsion, and what makes this even more unique is its all-electric range capability, where it just relies solely on the electric motor. The key distinguishing features of this vehicle that set it apart from a normal Ford Fusion include this charge port door that's located on the driver's side front fender. By opening this charge port, you will see the charging receptacle, which is a J1772 level 2 charge plug. Alongside that, you will see the Fusion Energy badging with the green leaf. In addition to the charge port door, there's also a fuel door that's located on the back quarter panel of the driver's side of the vehicle. Sitting behind the wheel of the Ford Fusion, we can start our high voltage disconnect procedure. With the vehicle in the running position, you will notice that the ready light is on in the lower right-hand corner of the dashboard. The first thing I will do is turn the key off and remove it from the vehicle. I will also apply the electric parking brake. Once that's complete, the brake light will be illuminated on the dashboard. It's important that you complete this procedure before we do the 12-volt battery disconnect, as once the battery is disconnected, you will not be able to apply the electric parking brake. Once we remove the key and set the park brake, we will ensure the vehicle is properly cribbed so it will not move. Then we'll move to the rear of the vehicle, open the trunk, and expose the 12-volt battery. We will then take at least 3 inches of cable cut from both the positive and negative side, which will then disable the 12-volt battery. Our next vehicle is quite unique. It's called a VIA Motors van, and it incorporates a lot of the same technology that we featured with the plug-in electric hybrid vehicle. The difference is that they've taken the technology and applied it to a commercial vehicle, in this case a full-size van. It employs a lot of the same componentry under the hood in the form of a generator that is going to power an electric motor to power the drive wheels. There's about 40-mile range under electric power, and then it switches to the gas generator. So let's take a look at some of the highlights that distinguish this vehicle from others in its class. The first feature you'll notice is on the driver's side front fender, and it's the charge port. It's a standard plug that we'll find in most level 2 charging stations across the country. Another way to identify this vehicle is by the VIA Trucks badge that's on the driver's side and passenger side front doors. Just like the Fusion, there's also a standard fuel door that's also located on the driver's side of the vehicle. One of the great features of having an electric hybrid truck is that you can use the power that's available in both the battery and the generator as auxiliary power on a job site. In this case, we have two 30-amp plugs that have different receptacles that are available for a contractor to use when they're on the job site. It also has a ground fault interrupter, an on-off switch, and a reset button for each circuit. Here we are inside the VIA Motors hybrid electric van. You'll see from the ready light on the dash, the vehicle is ready to be driven. The green light is illuminated on the right side of the dashboard. In order to start our high voltage disable procedure on this vehicle, we will have to place the vehicle in park and turn the vehicle off and remove the key. Once we remove the key, we will apply the parking brake, which is located just to the left of the steering column. Once the vehicle has been turned off and the emergency brake applied, we'll make sure the vehicle's cribbed and cannot move. Then we'll move under the hood to perform the final stage of our high voltage disconnect. We will look to this box here, which is the fuse panel for the VIA truck. And here are the wires coming out that connect to the 12-volt battery system. Although the 12-volt battery is located on the passenger side under the engine compartment, here's where you want to cut this section of wire, in between these two sections of fireman tape. Once that's done, the 12-volt system will be disabled, thus disabling the high voltage battery system, and then you will follow your departmental SOPs. Behind me is a Peterbilt CNG waste management recovery vehicle. There are several ways to identify this vehicle as it comes down the road, including badging on the doors to indicate CNG, a CNG placard, and a unique form for the storage containers that contain the CNG tanks. There's a quick disconnect that you'll find on the driver's side right behind the CNG tank. It's a simple red lever that requires a quarter turn to either turn on or turn off the CNG tank. There are also manual override disconnects for each tank. It's a screw knob that's located at the pressure relief device of each tank. Simply turning clockwise on each one of these knobs will stop the flow of CNG flowing from the tank to the engine. You'll find the electrical disconnect in between the front seats of the vehicle and the cab. When this switch is turned to the off position, the electricity will be cut off to this vehicle. Behind me is a Bluebird propane-powered bus. It's identifiable by markings that you'll see on the side of the vehicle that indicate it's a propane-powered bus, as well as a placard on the rear of the vehicle, again to identify its propane designation. On the roof of this vehicle, the Bluebird is actually painted green to signify its importance as an alternative fuel vehicle. From a safety standpoint, you'll find that the quick disconnect for the propane system is found behind the right rear wheel. You'll see that although it is not as accessible as other models, it's quickly and easily disabled by removing a cover plate and turning the brass knob clockwise. The battery disconnect will be found behind the left front wheel of the bus in the battery compartment. After removing the external cover, you will see the batteries clearly visible, and just to the right of the battery bank, you will find the quarter rotational battery disconnect switch. I hope you found this training is valuable. Thanks for watching.